The guy who hit my first super auto, I was texting with him, and no, obviously didn't work out or anything, but I was, I didn't know what the value would be or what I should offer. And I told him, that dude's jersey, bats, balls, and all that, cleats, whatever. And shoot, I even offered my debut cleats because I was, I need that card.
Wow.
And, he was like, yeah, that sounds great. Like, could you throw 30,000 on top? And I'm like, I haven't been called up yet or anything.
Yeah. Jameel Muhammad and Jeff Cardozo dive into the hobby, which is sports cards, trading cards, as well as all other collectibles, right now on the Meelypod Hobby Podcast, live from the Coach's Podcast Room at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill.
All right, hey everybody, your favorite time of the week again. It's the Meelypod Hobby Podcast alongside Jameel Muhammad, Jeff Cardozo here with you. We are inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill here in the podcast room. It's our Meldon Law Studios, and we are excited about today's episode.
Yeah.
Even though this is number 51, which is my favorite Florida Gator, Brady Singer, we'll have another Florida Gator on here. Well, I mean, just so many accolades we don't even need to say, but it's Jac Caglianone. I mean, that's all we really need to say. And excited to have Jack here inside. We'll rip some packs. We'll have some fun. And we even got Jameel to pull off the stupid Cardinals hat and wear a Gator hat because of it.
I mean, he plays for the Royals, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, I can't wear that. I don't know what the beef is like in Missouri with the Cardinals and the Royals. I mean, we all act like we get along in the Midwest, but really, they probably won't fight in the back alley. So I can't wait to have Jack on. The reason why I'm super excited about this is Jack is a card guy.
Yeah.
Like we talk about people who kind of like cards or dabble in cards. No, Jack is in breaks. Jack is grading cards. He's ripping with Bobby Witt. Like, these guys are serious about cards, and I love seeing this. So can't wait to have him on and pick his brain a little bit.
I know one of the things he actually really likes is Panini. And, there's all these issues going on with that. So I think that's how I want to start with you today because, is it getting sold? What's the ramifications if something like this happens?
Yeah, so Panini, for the longest time, everyone was saying, okay, you're losing the licenses. Panini says, we're going to fight. We're going to do what we can to stick around. We're going to be here. And then just recently, it came out kind of subtly in the news. One of these forum places, I think it was Sports Collector Daily, said they've hired a lawyer to help them with negotiation for sell-off. Now, I think this is Panini America. It's not Panini in Italy because there's two separate entities there. But what we're seeing now is what is going to happen. And the question that I kind of have, Jeff, is everyone's obviously saying, oh, well, Fanatics Topps is going to buy them. I don't know if Fanatics Topps needs them.
Sure.
And I don't, because they've kind of created their own branding, all these kinds of things. What could Fanatics Topps do? There's thoughts. Could they potentially buy them and create a secondary, company that does, more NIL and has the Prism National Treasures Immaculate, Optic, Select, Prism, keeps those brands around, but does it in a different, offering, I guess. So we'll see. It is going to be very interesting. I've heard rumors that, why not, Panini and Leaf partner up? Why don't they try and create kind of a non-licensed, why don't they try and create a entity that does some things more with the NIL? So there's going to be some very interesting things, I think, for the next 6 months we're going to see with cards. Or Jeff and Jameel, card company. That could be the other one. We could
J&J.
We could make all the rookie cards that have been lost for Jeff Cardozo over the years. Prism, I can make a downtown of you. I'll put the Gator statue behind you. We'll have a baseball spinning.
Can I get a garbage pail kid?
Maybe a little garbage pail. That's Topps, so we can have the licensing issues.
Well,
we'll put a little doll.
They made fake Cabbage Patch Kids, so
they did.
They can make fake.
Like a Temu Jeff rookie card is what we'll have.
That would be really sweet.
But it's interesting.
I do. It is fascinating though. That's the world that we're in. You're sitting here, like 3 times you said NIL. But I think it makes total sense to now be able to offer that and have those opportunities. And I think, more and more as you've seen it, kids want cards from what they have in college, especially around here, because you have all these Gators that are around that are turning out to be really, really good. So it does make sense.
Yeah, I mean, Panini's done a good job with trying to pivot. I think, they've done some really unique things this year with coming out with an Ohio State set, a UConn set, which for the Paige Beckers cards and the Ozzie Fudd card, they're selling for a lot of money. So there's worlds there that we haven't tapped in. Shout out to another company, On It, who we've done work with before, and they've helped us with the Florida Gator basketball. Those cards were the only kind of cards that were around. So we are entering in a time where I think the entry point of a card could be a freshman year in college. And who's to say in 10 years we're not making high school cards, right? You know what I mean? Like, we already do have high school cards with the Army, leaf cards that they come out with. But I'm thinking about this, and I think we're seeing some shifts that maybe people haven't really thought about, and it's coming very quick.
It certainly is. Well, you mentioned Gator basketball, and you got to do something cool with the Gator basketball team, the reigning national champs.
Yeah.
Things certainly didn't start off the best out in Vegas, but they'll be all right. They'll get those guys to make some shots. But I mean, you were out there taking shots with them, weren't you?
Yeah, I mean, Coach wouldn't let me on the floor.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think he wanted me
dominated.
to. Yeah, I mean, some of those redshirt guys might have been out. I mean, they didn't want to sign me an NIL deal. So, not anything like that at all. It was really cool. Coach Golden, a previous podcast guest, make sure you go check out that episode. But he invited us out to come just rip the new Topps NBA basketball products with his guys. And the funny thing that I didn't even think about was the amount of rookie cards they put in this set. Chen Yilu's ripping, and he's like, I went to this academy of this. I play with this guy. You got, the guards, you got Hauk, you got these guys looking at all these cards, and they know all these guys because they played with them in all the leagues that they came up with. So it's kind of fun to see that, and these guys getting excited about cards here again. We were able to hook everybody up with a Jason Williams autographed slab card.
Nice.
Shout out to CGC. They were all in the CGC holders. So I think that was really cool for everybody to get that. And then on top of that, we gave everybody a Walter Clayton on-it autograph card because it's Walter Clayton. And, I mean, I've heard it said best Gator basketball player ever by many people. I don't know if we can make that claim yet, but I mean, I think he's got to be in that conversation, right? So it's exciting to see just the love those guys had for ripping packs. They're all on the bench, and we're all ripping packs. The coaches get involved.
Just loving it.
I had the manager guys coming over. They were trying to get more cards. I was like, nah, don't be putting these on eBay now. These are gifts for you guys. But it was fun. And Coach Golden, the head of that, he showed me a picture of his desk, by the way, Jeff, on his phone. I don't want to get him in too much trouble, but it was not filled with basketball analytics. It was cards everywhere.
Wow.
Because this is his home desk, not his work desk.
Sure.
But he's been ripping Top Series 1 and or Topps basketball, and he's just been sorting and doing everything that we all do as collectors.
So I think maybe the most important thing, did you get a picture with Olivier Roux? Like you standing next to Seth? Because remember a few years ago we were next to Colin Castleton.
Yeah.
And it was you, then me, and then Castleton.
Yeah. It was
even he looked small for me. So now what was 7'9" next to you?
I felt like a prairie dog. Like, how prairie dogs just submit out of the dirt, and then they look up. I mean, Olivier Roux is a tall man, and I've seen 7-footers before, but 7'9", and well, we had some really cool conversations about Pokemon cards, and not just him though, but everybody on the team was just really into basketball. Everyone was talking about stories of they've sold on eBay when COVID hit, how they were selling, buying cards and flipping cards, how their dads have collected, so it just shows that this transcends so much. Yeah. And to open basketball cards is a lot of fun. But he is a tall man, very tall guy.
He certainly is. Well, Cooper Flagg's pretty tall, and since that started NBA 2, it's been a couple of weeks now. Is he the hot guy, or is there a certain dude from Philly that might be sneaking in there?
Yeah, VJ Edgecombe, man. I mean, he's been super hot, and you got to go back and see that viral video of Cooper Flagg in high school saying, I think he's saying to VJ, "You're not him. Yeah, you're not him, or you're not big enough, or something." So I can't wait to see that kind of play out with Rookie of the Year and how they'll have fun with it. But the nice thing about VJ, just his story, right? Guy who lived off a generator, he said, from middle school and high school, and maybe the league needs some hungry people that have had nothing and just like this is their everything. I think in the NBA, we've gotten some prima donnas. We've gotten some people that a little entitled to where they're at, and I think now you see that with someone like this guy. I mean, he's trying to dunk on everybody. You know what I mean? He's playing lights out. But Cooper Flagg is also a gamer, and you can tell he's not gonna bow down a Rookie of the Year that quick. So I think it's gonna be fun to see that race play out.
It'll be fun. It's always fun to see the new retail. I know November has brought some more goodies, hasn't it?
Yeah. So we're in November, and I think this is a good thing to think about is just like how shops are approaching this month now, because Black Friday is such a big deal.
Yeah.
We have to start really planning that months in advance, and we're getting now to we have a lot of surprises coming for Black Friday. I'm not going to share them all yet. Make sure you follow our socials, but we have some really cool surprises for that, as well as incredible sales. But I always tell people, like, save your money. Maybe don't buy as much right now, because I want you to get as much as you can for Black Friday. And I think that's fun about the community is we want to see lots of people open and rip cards. Hopefully we'll get to do that with Jack in a little bit here. We want to see people hit big cards, but I also want to see people get value out of it,
Sure.
and not walk away from a box thinking, oh, I just dropped a couple $100 and I don't have anything. So that's coming up, and I think it's no longer Black Friday, Jeff. It's Thanksgiving, Black Friday week. It's Small Business
Cyber
Saturday,
Monday.
Cyber Monday. And then and there's all these different things. Giving whatever. There's all these different Giving Tuesday, right? That's the next thing. So how do we curtail that and then you springboard that into the holidays, right? Into December, Christmas, Hanukkah, all these things. So it's very busy in the card shop. We don't do many shows. We hunker down. The team is. I have to give some pep talks because it's not easy those long days.
Yeah.
And then on top of all that, we got our breaks. And you got more people willing to get into breaks, splurge a little bit, spend some money. So busy November.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, it is Christmas early for us because we get to hang out with Jac Caglianone. He will step inside the studio here. We'll talk about his just stellar collegiate career and, probably even, making the bigs this year. And, gosh, still so early. I know he's probably not happy with the way the year went for him, but, gosh, a long, tremendous career ahead of number 14. And we'll do that when we come back on the Meelypod Hobby Podcast.
This is Jameel, owner of the Meelypod shop, Gainesville's home for collectibles of all sorts, including every single type of sports cards, whether it be Panini, Topps, Leaf, Upper Deck. We have it. Come on in, get yourself a box, a pack, get yourself some supplies, get into our breaks, get your Pokemon, get your Yu-Gi-Oh! All the other different kinds of TCG products that we carry and shop are always fully in stock. You can find our stuff on our website as well, meelypops.com. That's another way you can interact with the store, or you can just come into the shop. We're located off 39th Avenue by I-75 behind Walgreens and Sonny's. Stop on by. We're open every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And you can check us out on our social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, whatnot, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We'd love to see you. Come on out to the shop, have some fun, be a part of the card community here in Gainesville, and always go Gators!
Albert, Alberta, I understand you were witnesses to a crash. Can you tell us about the accident? When you're in a crash, it's important to get witness statements immediately after the accident. Whether you're in a car, truck, motorcycle, scooter, or even a golf cart accident, at Meldon Law, we won't back down.
Hey, everybody, we welcome you back inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. We're here in the podcast room. Jeff Jameel, and proud to have Jac Caglianone joining us, the 6th overall pick a couple of years ago in the 2024 draft. And Jac's getting into cards. Obviously, we know what he does on the field, and we'll have some fun with Jac today doing a whole bunch of different things. But I guess to start, this has become something fun for you. Like cards, I know a couple of years ago, you get on a box, and then all of a sudden it's like, man, this stuff's pretty darn cool.
Yeah, it's been honestly a whirlwind. Started out once Bowman Draft came out and it was me and Bazzano on the cover. I was like, all right, I might get back into it and stuff. So started hopping on breaks like Whatnot and Fanatics Live and doing all that type of stuff, and became friends with a bunch of people in the hobby and started to learn more about it, and kind of took off ever since then. And now we're here.
So do you have like a burner account on those things, or is it Jac Caglianone? How does that work? Because the people, like, when you log in, if they know you're in there, then things change.
Yeah, no, I just have my name.
There you go.
I just, I don't really try and hide it, to be honest with you. I think it's better too, because then it's easier to make friends with the breakers and all that type of stuff. So I get on there. I mean, I got two guys that I really talk to all the time, like 528, up in New York, and Suncoast.
Yeah.
And
shout out Ashley and the team there. Yeah. I know those guys well.
Really, really just hop on their stuff all the time.
Yeah. They always have fire. What's fun with them is before they got into it, and this is kind of side tangent, they would break with us, and they wanted to, they would just come in and rip cases with us, and it's like every time she come, like, we're taking out a case already, but they're awesome people, and it's cool, like, in the world of breaking and in the world of this hobby now, like, I think you're learning there's a lot of really good people that you just kind of get linked in with, you get rooted with, versus in the past, we've had some shady stuff. There's been shady people in this business, and there's still always shady people, but, like, it's cool to see you being you in these chat rooms, and you know what I mean, having fun breaking. So
yeah, I love talking to people in the chats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just been, like you said, it's a lot of fun. You go into it, and obviously you have, like, the people at games specifically who have the 10 cards on a page, and you're like, okay, these are going to end up on eBay.
Yeah.
20 minutes. So, I'll sign like one. And like one thing that's big for me is like growing up, going to games, I always wanted to get player signatures.
Yes.
I'm a kid and it's awesome.
Yeah.
So I always try to make sure I get as many kids as I can during those like pregame stuff, just because I know how much it meant to me.
Yeah.
So that's like a big thing, but there's just some people in the hobby that do ruin it. Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And yeah, so.
No, I mean, it's amazing to hear that you're doing that too, because I think that's what is lasting, right? It's about passing this on. It's about, we have kids in the shop. We're always trying to give kids free things, get them excited about the hobby, just like you and I and Jeff when we're growing up, that's what we were about. So.
Yeah.
Well, I think, that's what, respect about you so much, because obviously you did what you did in college, and, I think, one of the best players to ever do it. But that last game at Condren, I mean, you sat there and you walked up and down the entire thing, and I'm sitting in the radio booth just watching. I was like, man, he's still doing it. He's still doing it. So that's what's awesome. Let's talk about the college days a little bit. And it's crazy because, maybe your parents, obviously Sully and Chuck, and, myself might be the only people to have seen all 75 home runs. Like, getting to be there for every single game and doing that. And, the first one against Tennessee. And gosh, you remember that like so many years ago? You weren't even supposed to play. And then you go out there and you just like tear it up those 25 games or whatever.
Yeah, no, I definitely remember it. When the whole pulling the red shirt thing because of Tommy John kind of happened.
Yeah.
I'm sitting on the dugout with my turfs on, and Chuck's like, hey, like, let's go. And I'm like, oh, we're doing this like right now? I was like, I'm on my turfs. And he's like, well, you better change. So I go out there, I fly at the center. We're facing their side armor closer who's having a really good year, and he only threw like 86. But I don't know why. First day being in college, 86 was like 100.
Yeah.
So flew out to center, and I was like, you know what, it's fine. At least I made contact. Didn't look like a complete fool. And then the next day, they're like, hey, you're gonna DH. And I faced Beam, who's obviously he's down with the Royals, so me and him gotten pretty close. But we joke about it to this day. He struck me out on a changeup, the first AB, and then I was just telling myself, I was like, he's gonna throw first pitch changeup. Just be ready for the first pitch changeup. And that's exactly what he did, and I got it. And yeah, I vividly remember that day.
Oh, the batter's eye.
Yeah.
Straightaway center. And then so many like, in between all that, and, Jameel too. And for those that don't know, I mean, this guy hit 9 games in a row where he hit a homer. And it's incredible to think about. Like, do you remember the 10th day? Like when you didn't hit one, like were you pissed?
Yeah, because Corbin decides to walk me for no reason. There's nobody on.
I know.
I do remember that. I was hot because I was pitching that day too. So I wasn't too happy with him. But yeah, doing it, it sucks. I'm friends with Carter, who I hit the 9th one off of. And yeah, still talk to him and give him crap for it.
But and that's what is cool. I think a lot of people get flack sometimes where, all of a sudden guy gets a double and he goes and hugs the shortstop or different things like that. But, this day and age in baseball, you're around so many people, not only in college, but, you're playing on Team USAs together or, these different summer ball teams and all this other stuff. So it is fun. Obviously, you're in the heat of the moment. You want to kick that guy's ass, but, off the field and certainly during games, like everybody's really into it and roots for each other, don't they?
Yeah, and that's one thing that, I didn't really expect until really playing for Team USA.
Yeah.
That was like the biggest thing with guys like Condon and Lavalette. Got super close with them, and, we carried that throughout the year. We were always checking in on each other, making sure everybody was good and how they were feeling. So that's like one of the things that I feel like goes untalked about is honestly just the connections you make.
Sure.
And just how honestly cool it is.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like draft night comes and you're rooting for all your boys, and it's awesome to see their names get called. And shoot, I think I was dang near more excited to hear Neely's name get called than I was for my own name. Just knowing, everything we'd been through and all the ups and downs of our junior year and stuff like that. And Neely having probably the best postseason outing, I think, of any pitcher in college. So just seeing stuff like that and knowing people more on like a deeper level than just how good they are at baseball, definitely carries a lot more weight.
Yeah. We're throwing some names out there, so I'm going to throw some names back at you. Bobby Witt, Corbin Carroll, Josh Jung, yourself, Evan Longoria. These are all guys that are like not just casually involved in the hobby right now. They're like in the hobby, breaking, grading, like Trout. I mean, Trout might have been the forerunner for a lot of this, right? Because he was in there PSAing and didn't know time to sign things and then double, with crazy stuff going on. So why do you think, Jack, like now? Because like I've been around the cards forever. Me and Jeff talked about the '90s and stuff. Like now, it seems like the last 2-3 years, right? So many players are buying into it. They're getting into breaks. They're going after their own supers, right? They're chasing cards. Like, what is it that appeals about it to you?
Honestly, to me, it's more really just about kind of the connections you make with people. I mean, being able to talk to just like, I don't want to use the term like just a normal person who hit your card or whatever it is, who got that spot in the break that pulled your superfractor and everything, and being able to kind of just show like I'm a normal person.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's not that deep, to be honest with you. And honestly, the way that players are more involved into it now, I think that's really what boosted the hobby.
Yeah,
like I
absolutely.
talk to Grant Williams all the time with
I just saw him in Charlotte at the cards.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So we've been texting about it, and I'm like, dude, 2 years ago, who would have thought, I'm now friends with an NBA player, and, I know all these guys who love ripping cards as well, and I don't know, like to pinpoint one specific thing, I can't.
Yeah.
I think it's just been, one, great marketing, and two, I think more people are figuring out that it's really just fun.
Yeah.
I'm not in this for the money aspect of it. I just like the memories that you build doing it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what my 2 cents are on it.
Yeah. No, it's a great answer.
And it's great because I think that's how we all got into it. He mentioned, when I'm collecting, back in the 90s, every card I have is worth nothing because, I have a million of them just sitting in the attic somewhere. But it's just, I mean, but the cool part is you get to relate because you get to see those guys or the guys that's face on that card like you're hanging out with or doing different things with. So you have that, connection, which is really awesome. So it's definitely changed, but that's the fun of it. And I think, the times I've been into the Jameel shop and you're seeing just, it might be just Pokemon or something, but, a kid might hit their favorite player, or if it's opening up a Gator and all of a sudden, it could be some random Gator, but they had a connection with it. It's like the smile is just so big. And it's just like, yeah, that's what this should be all about.
Well, funny story. You just literally said big. So we're at the Gators basketball practice last week, opening up NBA top single release, right? Basketball. End of the practice, Olivier Reu's doing some shooting. Giant guy, 7'9", right? And he goes, hold on. He's like, before we're leaving, he's like waves us down. He's like, do you have Pokemon? And I go, yeah, man. He's like packs? I was like, every pack. And he goes, slabs? And I was like, yeah. So like we literally started talking about Pokemon. I'm like looking up, my neck's hurting, right? And he's just excited about that. So whatever it might be, but like that's the cool thing about all this. Like you said, the community aspect, getting to know people and breaking down those walls, which there was always such a barrier between, I think, professional athletes and collectors. Whereas now you can literally be in a Fanatics Live, a whatnot stream, just talking to everybody's collecting. So that's beautiful. I think it's really cool what the hobby's done. And I think we're, with tech and with marketing, I think we're getting to some unique places. So let's talk a little bit about trades. And as we talk about trades, I want to get into some cards that we might want to trade as well later here. We'll rip some stuff. I know you've been getting into football, so I brought Optic. We're going to chase some downtowns. I brought a Logo Fractor because I love Logo Fractor, how it looks. And then I got this guy here, Yamamoto's Heritage High number 24. We could try maybe hit a real one, which would be really sick. That'd be an epic thing for the podcast if we do it. So I think we'll start ripping into this. But as we start, what do we want to start with, by the way, Jack?
Let's do the fat pack.
All right, see, we'll do fat packs. So trading. So the big thing I've seen with you is you not only are getting involved with ripping cards, you're also trading with people. And like, there's a cool story recently with a kid. He traded you a super, I think. So can you like talk a little bit about how that all pans out with you, and like when you're thinking about trading, like what's going through your mind? Like, I see this, you probably have an advantage, right? But at the same time, you're a human being, right? So like, are you just trying to make a fair trade with these guys? And I think it's pretty cool for those people listening. This is a human being here too. So if he's got a card you want, be fair in the trade.
Yeah, no, for sure. For me, I'm never going to try and short people when it comes to them being willing to trade, if it is for a jersey, if it's for bats or balls or stuff like that. Like, I'd love to make it happen because at the end of the day, I want to make it worth their while as much as it is mine. So when I'm talking with these people, I'm like, listen, you tell me what you think sounds good. I'll never be the one that's like, I'll give you this, that, and that, and that's it.
Yeah.
Because I do know at the end of the day, this hobby's not cheap by any means. So I'm like, if, I know like the guy who hit my first super auto, I was texting with him and obviously didn't work out or anything, but I was, I didn't know what the value would be or what I should offer. And I told him, I'd do jersey, bats, buckles, and all that, cleats, whatever. And shoot, I even offered my debut cleats because I need that card.
Wow.
And, he was like, yeah, that sounds great. Like, could you throw 30,000 on top? I'm like, I haven't been called up yet or anything.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to drop that on a card yet.
Right. I don't know even what that looks like right now. So, I mean, that's interesting to think about, right? Because I come from a world now where I see when we have trade days at our shop, right? And like we try and police it because we're trying to make sure everybody's getting fair trades and things like that. Whereas, trading was always something where it used to be what's fair for both sides. Now it's become this thing with social media, I think, where like, did I win the trade? Who's gonna do better? It's like, I think we need to go back to some of the roots, like you just said, like what's fair? You know what I mean? I just had a conversation on a high-end card with a guy, and I said to him, I want this card to go to you. He's one of the super collectors in the world of this one player. So I want this card to go to you. What do you think it's worth? Like, let's have that conversation versus saying crazy number. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's how you can get a middle ground in trading, which, having the honest conversation. I do think some people feel like they've been slighted in the past, so then they go jaded into the next deal that they do. But it sounds like Jac's a pretty good guy to trade with. Now, I just pulled a Bo Nix, and he's pretty rookie. Now, I saw over here he pulled a Drake May, though.
Oh.
So I don't know what would be a fair trade for the Drake May. So I got a green velocity, Will Shipley. Ooh, you got a BTJ green.
BTJ Green Velocity and Johnny Wilson.
Ooh, so I think BTJ, first off, shout out to my fantasy team. Can you catch some touchdowns, BTJ? Second, who do you like, Knicks or Drake May right now in this football season? They're both doing really well.
They're doing really well. I really like Drake May right now.
That's the only answer.
Yeah. It's unfortunate what happened with, JD.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like Drake's kind of separating himself. And I'm super huge. I still am on JJ.
Yeah.
I got a lot of his cards.
Yeah, you're right.
So
you're happy, right? You saw the game Sunday. They look good. Yeah. They beat the Lions, right? This is not a schmuck team, right?
So no, I hit the duel downtown. I put him in Justin Jefferson in Salt Lake when I first got called up to AAA, and it gemmed, thankfully.
Dang, there you go.
Like I said, I'm not in it for the money by any means. I think I love PSA or downtowns.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite cards, and that's what I PC the most, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So just getting into that type of stuff and seeing a gem, it's like, don't get me wrong. Like, do I look at what they're worth? Yeah, of course. At the same time, it's like,
of course,
it's not going anywhere.
When you gem a card that you pull, that's even more special. You know what I mean?
100%.
Well, this is a great guy. Like, Jordan Trout. So, Forrest.
This is Jeff's luck, by the way.
This is, but that's, he goes, they go undefeated. They're having this tremendous year. He obviously gets hurt, and then they fall off the planet, and then the injury just never able to come back. So that's
he's retired, right?
Yeah,
he retired.
Here, I'll give you your boy Jalen McGee.
Hey, there we go. Hey, Bucks. Hey, we're doing okay. Bucky, I heard some rumors about season-ending surgery. I can't do that. Dog. Yeah, Bucky, I'm hoping he's back this week, so we'll see.
Well, and as we do this too, I wonder, like, were you able to ever get any of the stuff that you did from college, like as far as home run balls? Like, you hit 75 to break the record, which is crazy. Like, we had Matt Laporta on the podcast, and he was the home run leader, and then Jac hit 75 in Omaha. And, did you get that ball back? Like, how, has any of that?
I did.
You did,
I did.
Absolutely.
So the guy who got it, apparently it was his first game with his kids that he had ever gone to. So I was like, I'll sign a ball for you, and I'll do batting gloves. And he's like, yeah, like, that sounds great. And so we do that, and then as I'm handing him the gloves, he's like, can you do a bat too? I'm like, this is the big leagues. I don't have a bunch of metal bats just laying around. He's like, okay, like, it's fine. Yeah. But, no, I'm just glad, like, thankfully he got it.
Yeah.
And Lourdes hooked it up. One of me and Jeff's friends.
Yeah.
And she went over there and
made it happen.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was great. Gave him batting gloves, took a photo with him.
And obviously that's a really cool moment. Like, have you been able to, like, get a room up in the house yet, or like you're starting to put up some memorabilia?
No, Jeff, I'm living at home still, so not enough. There's not enough free space just yet, but
Mom and Dad got to have some cool stuff up here, right?
They do.
Yeah.
Like our mantle, in our family room, it has the Olrude awards and all that stuff. So there's still a bunch of stuff over around.
Yeah, it's tremendous to think about all that. I think about a couple of the home runs too, and on a call you obviously have to be good, and I kind of turned it in. Hey, there's another jack for Jag, or something to come up with. But I don't know if you remember the ball you hit at Missouri that ended up going onto their indoor football thing. It was literally one of those where you're on the call and it's like sometimes you try to be suspenseful and it's like, oh, there's a deep fly ball to right. No, it's like
It's gone.
he swings. It's like, holy, you want to say that on the air because you hit it so far, and then you have another one. The one against JU at Condren? I think they measured that thing over like 500. Like, do you have did you always know when you got them? Like,
On like those, yeah,
yeah,
for sure. And then you go and play at places like Arkansas where you kind of have to get them.
sure,
So I mean, obviously there are times where I think the best one, the funniest one that I've had was against USF, where the ball's, I mean, it was in the middle of right-hander's batter's box,
Yeah.
and I think I just like flicked it out somehow. And I remember that because Bozer he was over there playing third, but they moved him. They had 4 outfielders, and I hit it over his head. And he was texting me after the game, like, dude, like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know. I just swung.
It's gone. So thinking a little bit about these like massive hits, massive home runs. Let's talk about massive hits in the hobby. Like you've ripped. I mean, it's the cool thing talking to you now is like I know you started a draft. You're chasing yourself. It grows into it's like it's constantly growing, right? Well, what do we collect? You get into more baseball. Then you said someone on your team was mentioning, hey, you need to get into football, right? So you get into football, chasing things. What has been some of the biggest like hits you've had, whether it be in a break or like now live ripping?
Probably that Luca,
Okay.
rookie RPA, that one, and the color match Luca. I mean, I've been lucky enough to be able to rip some nice products. So
Yeah.
I got.
What's going through your mind when you're ripping 18-19 prison basketball? Like when you see it, whether rip it, was it a break or was it in person?
In person.
Okay, so when you're opening those boxes, like, are you like super like you're looking for the color?
Oh,
Like, yeah.
100%. And I mean, those FOTL boxes, I mean, they have so much color in them. So every time it's so suspenseful. But, finding like Luca's it was tough.
Yeah.
Obviously I think they knew that somehow back then even, and they did not put a lot of his stuff in there. So I actually ripped more a couple months ago and I got Luca's red rookie at a 299. That's getting graded right now. But yeah, to see some of the stuff that gets pulled, like my buddies have hit, Bobby hit, Mahomes rookie. I forget what it was out of. I think it was National Treasures. It was like an eye black auto
Okay.
of Mahomes.
Yeah.
Just of course it'd be Bobby to hit the chase card.
of course not. But so how does that work? You guys are in Kansas City. Like, do you guys know each other? Like, you get hang out? So every girl wants to know if you met Taylor Swift. All that kind of stuff. I'm sure. But that's got to be cool too to have another, especially a guy like that and a team like that in that town. Just the support is amazing.
Yeah, no, it's honestly like I felt the love from the people of Kansas City and the guys like Mahomes and Kelsey.
That's awesome.
Travis and I actually talk a decent amount, and they just opened their steakhouse out there in Kansas City, and it's super hard to get into. And me and Ellie were out there and Tibbs for the Chiefs game the next day, and I just sent a Hail Mary text to him, and he was like, "Yeah, you're good, just go." So we got to experience that, and honestly, just getting to know him. Like I was talking about earlier, everybody's just people at the end of the day. So, he's not just a multi-Super Bowl champ. He's just down to earth with a good guy. So
yeah,
it's awesome to be surrounded by those people because we have top to bottom, like the guys in the clubhouse are awesome. The coaching staff is just filled with great people. So
yeah.
And you know what else is unique too? And then, I mean, maybe this is the best one out of all these. Look at that.
Oh, look at Ricky Green velocity. Okay.
That's pretty good.
We did not hit it downtown. We opened both boxes. So Jeff. I'm gonna blame it on Jeff. It's his luck.
I'm always the that way. But I mean,
So that's not bad.
so that's, again, I think going back to it, like, I think about when I was in school and, I got to play with some cool people like, David Ross and Brad Wilkerson and guys like that. But then, guys that were at Florida at the time too, like Mike Miller's roaming around, Jason Williams, who we've had on the podcast, guys like that, where I think having that ability to and maybe go to the dining hall and you're talking to Olympians that are in track teams or, swimmers that are going to go play for their country and kind of like what you get to do now, which is, pretty cool. That's always really neat, but it's just, guys hanging out with each other and having a good time and going to parties and enjoying it. But also, I think picking each other's brains on what makes something tick, right?
Oh, 100%. Like one thing, like one of the people that I talk to as much as I can is Grant Holloway.
Yeah.
So usually when I come back into town, I'll lift and, he'll be working out with Sean and just picking his brain. I mean, he's one of the best in the world for a reason. And just kind of watching how he kind of carries himself and goes about his business is just cool to see. Like I'd try to stay out of the way of him.
Yeah.
But he's so easy to talk to. He's very like positive, which is something that I need to work on. But no, like being around those guys, like you said, and kind of like the culture that Florida baseball specifically has kind of created, like with Wyatt and Hurston and Sproat and all those guys, staying in touch. Like I talk to Wyatt just about every day and still talk to Sproat all the time. It's just really cool to see because especially when you guys talk about coming back to school, going to watch a football game or doing something, you're not just going to be there with, a new team that you have no idea who's on the team anymore. But, it sucks, but, you owe a lot of that to the coaching staff and guys like Chuck and, that whole state that I'm not going to dive too far into.
Sure.
But yeah.
You mentioned Wyatt, and like, that's so special. You hit your first home run in Texas, right? You know what I mean? He's there in that game,
Yeah.
Were you like pointing out I'm talking smack?
No, but I would try and run out of the dugout fast enough to where I'd catch him on his way in, but he's too fast for
too fast. He's sneaky fast. And you mentioned Grant too. Like Grant, this is just a cool thing talking about like the demeanor and how people carry themselves in athletics. So yeah, referencing logo fractors. We'll pull something crazy here. So Grant comes to our shop. We do a signing with him right before.
Well, I got a black.
Oh, let's go.
And a blue.
Black's big, Jeff. It's gonna be big.
And the blue.
We didn't have a card cam on this in the future.
Reese Hines, the one.
Ooh, auto too. They're not guaranteed either. Come on, Black.
Not a rookie. Give me Pete. Francisco Alva.
Okay,
like 10.
That's
not bad at all.
That and one box to hit an auto number 1 and then hit a black. Okay, there we go. You know what it was? I touched the box, Jeff, and I handed it to him. But no, thinking about these names like Grant, he comes to our shop. He does a little signing. People come in and get to meet him. He brings his gold medals. He's letting people wear the gold medals. You know what I mean? And like, I'm just watching him thinking like, these are what you worked your entire life for. You know what I mean? You push, and he's literally letting these kids put these medals on. So, real special to think about how, like you said, you can. Is that a
James Wood Fortune?
The Fortunes fit? Are those aren't SPs? And no. Those are the inserts.
Sick though.
James Williams. That's a guy that can.
Montero to 150.
Yeah.
That's a guy that can crush it. Obviously in the home run derby this year. Like, is it? You were always. Hit these monstrous shots in college. And now when you see these guys doing it at the big league level, it's crazy. Like just, what these guys can do, isn't it? It's just a whole different level.
Like seeing a guy like O'Neal Cruz hit
Yeah.
is awesome. Luckily, me and James, so we were the same like high school class. We did East Coast Pro together, and we were both in the Giants. And when I tell you I had one of the worst, speaking of them. Oh, look at the Wyatt.
See that? He willed it into existence right there.
When we were at East Coast Pro, James, I don't quote me if it was on the same inning or not, but this guy, he's 6'8", 6'7", and one of the quietest dudes there. Like, he doesn't really talk at all. And he goes out there like it's nothing, hits 2 grand slams in one game. And, everybody knew of him because there's so many videos of him just hitting monster bombs at high school and on the circuit and everything. And like to see it in person, and it was really cool. And you just knew, like, you can see guys growing up. You're like, this guy's just different. Yeah, this guy's gonna be nasty.
Yeah,
and he is. So yeah,
that's an interesting team with Cruz and Wood. These young guys on Washington. And that's another cool thing about MLB right now that I love is like when I grew up, when you saw guys get drafted, like you're not gonna see them for a while.
Yeah,
now. I mean, just your case, like, hey, come on up, buddy. It's time to come on up. So I think that's a special thing. When we've talked about this before too on the podcast, is it the college, level playing longer? Is it prep? All these things, getting people more prepared. But that transition for you, did you expect it to be so quick?
To be honest with you, I had no idea what to expect.
Yeah.
I'd get drafted, I get shipped out to high A to Quad Cities, and I don't do great. This is the most baseball I played in my life. I was feeling, just beat. Finish hitting like 240. And then they were like, hey, you're going to go to the fall league too on top of that. And don't get me wrong. In the moment, I was like, dang, like when am I going to be able to breathe a little bit?
Yeah.
End up going to the fall league and meeting some of the best dudes I've met playing baseball. I had an absolute blast. Got to be an all-star. Got to do a home run derby in it. The coolest part about it was like my dad threw me in the home run derby out there. So that was like a core memory for sure.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm like, all right, I'm just praying I don't get sent back to high A. I want to start in double A at the minimum. They called me like, hey, you can go big league camp. And they said it wasn't very common for like your first year to go to big league camp. So I didn't know how to take that.
Sure.
Oh, sweet. Like, I appreciate y'all having that faith in me.
Yeah.
And, you know, go out, have a great spring training, meet the guys, you know, spend time with them, and really kind of just get a feel for what the big league team's all about, you know. Start in double A and then do really well, go to triple A, carries over. Luckily, we were in Salt Lake, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
And then get the call, and it was just like a whirlwind, to be honest with you. Just a lot of picking up and moving.
Story.
So we had Rusty Kuntz, who's our outfield coach now, outfield coordinator, and they started telling me they want me in right. So my last 2 weeks of double A, I'm out there in right field and playing some left, just figuring it out. Yeah. You know, working with Rusty every day before stretch and everything, just learning the footwork. And I played there in high school and my senior year only, and obviously never played it once at Florida or anything. So, you know, it was kind of a shock. Just, you know, the last thing you want to do is you want to save your pitcher from runs and, you know, do all XYZ to help them, not only them look good, make yourself look good, make the team look good. And, you know, I get 2 weeks in double A, I get called for triple A, play 2 weeks in right field. And Rusty's like, hey, it's coming a lot faster than you think. Like, just a heads up. And we had a 2 week homestand. And I'm like, all right, sweet. Like, at the end of this 2 week homestand, I'm praying, like, I can go. The big league team's on the road. They're going to St. Louis. And I was like, this would be great. Debut at home. Be perfect.
Yeah.
And after that second week, they're like, hey, you're going to go up. You're going to meet them in Kansas City. You're going to fly to St. Louis. And I was like, whoa. It's like, sweet. Like, you know, obviously it's the moment you dream of. Yeah. So I'm glad it came when it did. And man, like, don't get me wrong. This year did not go the way I wanted it to at all. But to be honest with you, I think it was just more so, one, the amount of games, but two, I've never wanted to make excuses. It was me just trying to do too much. Sure. Plain and simple. You know, I got out the gates. I was doing fine. And then felt like I needed to raise my batting average 100 points with one swing. Yeah. And then, you know, it just kind of digs you into a rut, you expand, and then you're fighting out of a hole. And, you know, I'm very thankful because the Royals have been super transparent with their plans and everything. Yeah. So, you know, when I went down with the hammy and went back down to AAA to rehab, they were very timely, talked to me all the time, keep me updated on, you know, what their plans were and stuff like that. So I'm super thankful for that and for them. So, yeah. But overall, like, looking back at this year, it's just been overall a really solid year. Yeah. But once that last game ended in Oakland or wherever they are, Sacramento, I was already like, dude, let's just keep playing. I'm not trying to be done.
Yeah, I think that's Jameel always has the St. Louis hat on.
Yeah, I wore the Florida hat today. Just there, yeah.
But even that game, like your debut, like, you smoked that ball to center. Yeah. And you probably think, all right, sweet, here it is, and the dude runs it down. You're like, what the hell am I part of right now?
No, trust me. I hit that and I was like, oh, sweet, that's in the gap. You know, like, that's gonna get down. And then you have a guy as fast and he doesn't win a bunch of Gold Gloves for no reason. Yeah. And he's out there, tracks it down. I'm like, okay, like, not a bad start, like, good, and made good contact. And then, you know, I forget what happened the next AB. I believe my third AB, you know, Nolan Arenado's at third. And obviously that's somebody that, it's just known. He just has the best glove ever. Yeah. So to see him basically playing shortstop, I think I hit a ball, I want to say it was 110 plus, backside. I'm like, sweet, there's my first knock. Yeah. I'm sprinting down the line, and I see Contreras, like, preparing to catch the ball. Whoa. This is not funny. How about, like, 2 steps? And I, like, the next day I hit my double, I get my first hit. And as I'm going to, like, give my leg guard to third base coach, Nolan's sitting there, and he just goes, this isn't Northwest Arkansas, is it anymore? He's like, defense is a little bit better up here. And I'm like, yeah, I'm figuring that out right now. Thank you.
Welcome to MLB, right?
Seriously.
That is, it's really cool.
Cool one. So we're opening Heritage High Number 2024 now. Oh, that is sweet. Look at Wyatt. And you called him out. There he is.
Wyatt.
We'll have to get Wyatt on here, see if we can pull better cards than you. Or pull you. How about that? So thinking about some of this stuff, this is 24 High Number, looking for some Yamamoto, right? To see, I mean, you're obviously grown up hitting, grown up pitching. To see someone like, I call him Yams, see Yamamoto on one day's rest, was it? Mm-hmm. To be able to do what he did, you know what I mean? And Ohtani literally say in the presser after the game, he's the best pitcher, in the world right now. I mean, how amazing is it, the day and age we're living in with baseball? I feel like it seems like every year there's something more amazing. Cal Raleigh this year, you know what I mean? Looking at Judge over the past 5-6 years, the things that are happening so fast, right? And so, were you impressed with the Dodgers? I mean, were you going for them? Were you going for the Blue Jays? Did you have a pull?
I mean, I was going for the Blue Jays.
Okay.
Mostly because, I played summer ball with Trey. So
Sure.
Seeing him do what he did game 5, 12 strikeouts, he's just killing it.
Yeah.
So, obviously, kind of like how everybody viewed the Chiefs at one point. When you win so much, you just get hate for being so good.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I was at with the Dodgers. And I'm sure a lot of people are too.
Are they the neo Yankees? Or are they the new and up? I mean, just the hate for. I mean, the thing about it is they win. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I mean, amazing game. To think that game, Rojas throwing that to home plate. How close? To go back and replay. I mean, we're looking at like inch or half of an inch, right? From them winning the World Series.
Yeah, a little further on the secondary lead,
right?
And he's safe, and that's
bad.
Like, there's just so many little things, and that's what I think we love about baseball so much. But I mean, that's just, the guys that make the plays obviously are the ones that win it. And that's what's so fascinating about professional sports. Yeah. It's a fascinating pack here. Look, your boy, teammate.
Oh, Andrew, that's numbered too, to 25. Is that numbered?
That's the chrome version. I think it's the base chrome.
And then,
oh, no, right there.
On the front, right?
5.69.
Yeah, there you go. $6.99.
That's
the chromes are that.
You think you can get a hit off this guy?
Ooh.
Paul Skeens?
You heard that, Paul? We got you. I pulled the silver variant. Those are cool. There's out of 225 JT Martinez. But yeah, I mean, just thinking about the SEC. Guys, how quickly, right, Jeff? When these guys are coming up, you know what I mean? Guys that you play with, all of a sudden, I thought I was done seeing you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
it's amazing.
Like see Phil get called up towards the end of the year. Abner, Spro, obviously,
sure.
Person
this up. Year. Goodness gracious, right?
Yeah.
They started working.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just being able to see just guys that you've played with and you're like, wow, it's just obviously we're not on the same team anymore.
Right.
This is really cool.
Another SEC guy, Jack Leiter.
There we go. That's a blue too. So one thing about Heritage is very tricky, as you know, the short prints, like always identify. I mean, they've gotten harder and harder over the years because there'll be cards, Jeff, they'll have a different, like they'll have a flip stock. You see how the front is glossy and the back is matte? They'll flip it and you won't even know, but that's like out of 5.
Yeah.
And there'll be cards that are crazy, yeah.
No, the look of them cool. The old school.
The old Heritage, yeah. Rovag.
And defense, you were talking about defense a little bit too. And, obviously that adjustment. And, for those that don't know, this guy was a really, really good defensive first baseman and then try to make that switch to the outfield. And now you got these big old fields you're roaming in. But, was it Cleveland where you had did you rob a homer or you were like right up against the wall? Like I think I remember watching that play, right?
There was Cleveland and San Diego.
Okay.
So
you figured it out a little bit.
Yeah, definitely not bad. I mean, there's some plays still where I just
This is our last cheers. Here you go. Come on.
Cheers.
Come on, last pack. Come on.
Go.
That's something. Come on, Jeff. I did touch this box, Jeff, so I also like to blame for this one.
It's like for the most part, I feel comfortable.
Yeah.
But there are those plays, like the ones that hit right at you. I had one in Wrigley against, the Cubs, and it was PCA. PCA hit it, and with how hard he hits it, it's probably like 115 or something crazy off the bat. I thought it was right at me, so immediately I just turn and kind of wait and realize this thing's 10 feet over my head.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I ended up getting him out at third. But, man, there's some places where the lights, obviously the super tall grandstands, it's just stuff that, Yamamoto rookie.
There we go. Right when you said that, look.
Yeah.
There's I don't know why. I don't know if that's a different variation. There we go. And hit the gunner right there. Oh, that's a cool insert they have. Well, we got to probably have to go back through this. There might be an auto hiding because we didn't hit a jersey. So I'm thinking there's an auto we missed because you get an auto or a relic for
Probably
Bob's.
dummy me.
It might be in your stack. It's okay. Look.
Every card's autographed,
Yeah.
so it's hard to tell.
Well,
I don't blame you.
thinking about like just like the amount of stuff we have on this table and just crammed makes me think about what I heard earlier this weekend. So you're in Jacksonville for the game, and you go into a card show. Now, the card show in Jacksonville you went to is notoriously known for being very small, and there's always filled with people. So you walk into this card show. I gotta know two things. One, did you just get ransacked with people like, that's Jac Caglianone, there's a card on the table right here, and there's it in real life? Like, were people just like swarming you at the show?
There was a good amount of people that came up.
Yeah.
But it wasn't anything like overbearing. Sure, it was like, oh,
Cool.
No, I'm just gonna enjoy it. But because it is cool, you know, you're in Jacksonville. It's not crazy far from Gainesville. There's Florida fans.
Yeah.
So it was cool to meet new people, and I had some kids ask me to sign their Zion case. So
there you go.
That was a first for me.
So that's really cool, right? Now you got a new medium to sign, right?
Yeah. So doing that,
Love it.
Like, I don't know. I just love being around the hobby.
Yeah.
You know, I've got my dad hooked on it. I got my fiance, unfortunately.
Oh,
You know,
what a she rip.
I try and get her into it. She cares because I care.
You might be surprised. My wife was like that too, but then eventually she just likes the thrill of ripping. So like, and then also like, just she was a big movie lover. So this set came out recently for the movie Dune. So she's like, "Oh, can we open a case of that?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's open a case of it." She's just sitting there like, "They got auto, got a refractor," so she loves it. But you'd be surprised, like certain things, like I've found people would just get into cards and it may not be sports at all, right? They'll get into, and then that's their barrier into the hobby, or their entry in the hobby. Pokemon, we see a lot with younger kids, and then they may get older and like, I don't want to do Pokemon anymore. Now they're into sports cards, right? So we see that, and I think that's the cool thing about the hobby. It's ever evolving, right? It's always changing. So you're at the show, you're getting swarmed, sort of. I want to know, are you making like, did you have some tough negotiations? Did you find some cards? Was there anything you had to negotiate? Were there some tough dealers there?
There was a guy who had one of my black animes.
Oh,
And he had it listed for like $16.50, and last sale was like $5.30. So I was like,
where do you start? So where do you start with that? I mean, I'm gonna do a lot of shows, so I know I gotta have my comps right. But where do you start with that guy? How do you even approach that?
it was more so just we just kind of looking around at the tables, and he was like, "Hey, I have this of you," and I'm like, "Oh, it's awesome." And I saw the sticker, and I was like,
You want to take the one off the front?
Yeah.
Maybe $6.50 is what you meant to say then.
and I like was like, "Hey, like last comp's this," and he was like, "Well, I'm in for it at 800. That's what I could do, man."
Or lie.
So I was like, "I'm probably good." I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's a sick card, and I have one of my base animes, but
Yeah.
I ain't paying over $1,000 for it.
No, of course not. And the thing about like I'm in for it, I always say to people like, if you're in for a card for too much and the market's down, what's your plan with that card? Is it to hold for another year to get back that money,
Yeah.
or take the $600 or whatever you could have sold it for, and then now reinvest it? You're savvy enough in cards, figure it out. Like, yeah, that's a world where I think in cards where if you hold on to stuff for too long, you're just going to continually get beat up. Now, there have been some defeats I've had where I just want to give the card away. Like
Yeah.
I had a big deal recently at a card show with this Shea Gold that I had that I bought too high, and the guy made this big offer, and of course he lowballed me. I was like, I don't want to see the card, take it. You know what I mean? So there's points like that where you get to with cards, but I think some people just hunker down sometimes, and that's the opposite thing to do. You want to move cards in this hobby, and things change so fast. You know what I mean? So that's cool. So so he was pretty high price. Did you find any deal box stuff? Did you find anything like anybody bring up cards to you to try and trade with you?
I wanted to look through like the value bins, but since I went to Showtime before, I'd opened a bunch of absolutes, so I had some RPAs and everything, and I was just I was selling and got some cards, in exchange. Basically, like I love working trades.
Yeah,
like I'm doing the trade up challenge right now.
there you go.
I was telling you guys off camera, but the Brady auto out of 25 from 04.
Oh wow, early
That's-
race. Oh wow.
Yeah. I think it was bookend. It was 25, and I put it on my card account story and was just like trying to work on this. And this one guy, brand stuff. He's very new, but he's garnering a huge fan base already, which is awesome. And he has probably the most Otanis out of anyone I know.
Wow.
And he was like, "Hey, I have this Otani rookie. Like, would you want to trade for it?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. Honestly, why not?" None. So shipped his thing out. I told him not to give me too much of a hard time on the packaging because I'd never done it before.
Okay.
But I did the boxes together, the card in the middle. I didn't have rubber bands, so I taped it.
Okay.
But the card's in a one-touch, and it's in a one-touch sleeve. So
Sure.
I'm like, the card will be just fine.
Okay.
The packaging's a little janky.
So, I'll give you a B on that one. You can use painter's tape. Painter's tape will help on the rip. You get the bubble wrap, but that's how you did a pretty good job. That's pretty
Good
good job.
job. Jeff would be proud.
Jeff,
But from his shout out Jeff at the show,
he'd be very proud of that.
so like all these cards are cool. Different things, but like I saw that there's a Garbage Pail Kid card of you. Like Garbage Pail Kids are like my dream. Like I love those things back in the day. Like, have you seen yours yet?
I own it.
Yeah, he's got one.
I got the 1 of 1.
The super.
Oh, it should be coming hopefully today or tomorrow, I think. I had to ship to my dad's office, so
Sweet.
I'm really fired up because it jammed to 10.
Like a test.
That's literally like, you have a photo of it.
So when you're on your phone, you get that PSA that like you see the redemption, you flip it, and you get that gem 10. What are you feeling?
Euphoria.
The best feeling ever.
Yeah.
Because half the time it's 9s and 8s.
Yes, exactly.
Some way.
Do you slowly flip it around?
Honestly, for a 1 of 1 too. Yeah. To have that.
That made
That's
no
incredible.
Yeah, the Garbage Pail Kids crossover is awesome. They did a Disney crossover this year as well
Okay.
with some of the players and the characters. So
Yeah, look at that.
I think it's awesome to see
Jackhammer.
the jackhammer. That's a good one too.
Are you happy with the picture? Like,
Yeah, honestly,
So it's just
there's
Oh, chunky kid.
a lot of worse ones out there. There are some really mad ones. I'm glad about that
well,
one.
I'm gonna put that on the screen for everybody.
Show that one off for sure.
But that was good. No, that's awesome. What we do right at the end, we have some rapid fire questions that we throw at all of our guests. So Jameel and I go back and forth. Brought to you by Titan MRI. So we appreciate Joe and all the things that he does to help us out. Joe's a big Mets fan, so he
Huge Mets fan.
he's got some Pete's, and maybe Pete will go up a little bit more now. He had a
Yeah.
nice little year. So
Yeah.
that'll be fun. So I'll let you get started.
Yeah.
Just quick too, first, whatever comes.
So whatever comes to mind, there's no right answers. I have some. Jeff has some. We're going to go back and forth. So we've never actually done it this way. You're the first where we've actually kind of put somebody in the middle and wham, bam, bam. So, but you're pretty good. You know how to hit and you know how to pitch. So you'll be able to figure this out. Oh, no worries. All right. First question. Best way to hit a big card, Jack? Is it to rip it in hand or is it to hit it on a break?
Rip it in hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree with that one.
All right. Why number 14?
David Price, grew up a big Rays fan, and that's the number my dad wore when he played. So,
Sweet.
Ooh.
Perfect.
Okay. Best food spot in Gainesville?
dang. Honestly, Quality Clogs.
Okay. And is you got a favorite order there?
His dry rub wings.
Okay. Dry rub wings.
Sweet.
Yeah, cornbread.
Cornbread. There you go.
All right, cooler game to be a part of. Virginia game in Omaha, where Wyatt hits a homer. I think you scored the game-winning run, right? And then, or the Clemson regional game to go to Omaha.
Clemson.
Yeah.
I loved every bit just because the Virginia game was in Omaha. It holds a very special place in my heart, but I love getting gritty with the Clemson fans. I loved it.
They were so bad the entire time, and just all the stuff that happened. But that's what I love about you two, and I'm sure it's got to change a little bit in the big leagues. But I mean, you're running around the stands against Miami and the team I hate the most, and you're doing your thing, which I absolutely like to work out. Yeah, I mean that's why I love Brady Singer so well. It's just because of that mindset, that mentality, or and then obviously that happens, in that game there. But that's probably hard for you because you are so aggressive, or you want to be that way, but you probably can't act that way in the big leagues.
Yeah, I didn't want to cut you off, but I was like, that was one of the biggest things that, I'm still figuring it out.
Yeah.
Is learning how to have that edge and that fire, but how to channel that in a different way.
Yeah.
I mean, Jeff knows he called every single game I played here, and I'm not quiet on the field. That's never been who I am. I'm a trash talker. I like getting in people's heads. That's just
Love it.
the way I've operated. And then you get up there and it's like, well, this guy's 10 years of showtime or something's crazy. And you're just like, I can't say anything. I haven't had nothing to say.
It's like you have to taper it somehow, but you have to tell your brain no. And as a meal is a fiery meal, it's you got to tell your brain stop. And it's really tricky, I would bet. You know what I mean? Because you're in the moment.
Because then you're in the dugout just sitting there and you're just steaming. So it's like I want to get it out, but I just, that causes a lot of stupid things to happen. But no, navigating that's something that I need to talk to some of the other fiery guys on our team, like Michael, who's just a true competitor. Bobby's the most low key guy. He just knows he's disgusting. So it's I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, consistent with him too, right? I mean, think about how consistent he's been, and that's awesome to see on the team. All right, next one I got for you. On a card, do you have a preference? Pitching, fielding, or hitting?
I absolutely love the art of pitching.
Okay.
But you can even ask pitchers, they'd rather hit a home run than a no-hitter.
It's also hard to capture like a cool pitching pose. I think you always look weird, right?
Yeah.
In the photos they capture.
Which photos
Yeah.
That's a good one. All right, this one. More nervous to face 100 and like some stud, you haven't faced before in the big leagues, or to propose to Ellie?
Oof. Propose to Ellie. Norman Rivers, yeah. Because I didn't play it very well.
No.
Like, we did it on the dock at our house, and I was just, I came up with some bogus excuse that we needed to get out of the car before dinner, and she was walking down. She obviously saw like all the flowers and stuff. She's like, "What's this?" I'm like, "Nothing. Stop talking." You'll see in a second.
And how fun is it to watch her do her thing? I mean, I saw you all the time doing the volleyball matches, and you're there. It's like, it's crazy how athletic they are, like playing that sport.
Yeah, no, someone like Ellie, I genuinely think she's more athletic than I am. When it comes to just regular sports, she kicks my tail, and pickleball, and obviously volleyball, and I don't know, just someone like her, because she's just such a very happy-go-lucky, just like a light, I guess would be the perfect way to describe her, and to see her competitive side out on the court, and knowing that, eventually one day when, kids start coming around, it's going to be a very competitive household.
No, yeah.
So
That'd be awesome.
So I'm super excited for that. But no, being able to watch her do her thing, and now she's doing it professionally, I'm super excited for her.
It's amazing. It's amazing to think just the competitive nature of the Caglianone house is going to be coming with pickleball and ripping packs and all the things that are happening. All right, so I got a wild one for you. Here we go. If I handed you a slab, one of each, PSA, Beckett, SGC, and CGC, all right? I'm going to hand you a slab. No. You're not ready for this.
Which one looks the best?
Which one do you realistically think you could throw the farthest? Beckett. They got the dense weight, right? Okay.
Yeah.
We did this challenge at a card show where I bet somebody $50 he couldn't throw it across the show, and they threw it, and it kind of got this like boomerang effect where it like went up and then came back, but pretty wild. So Beckett's your pick, huh?
Beckett's my pick.
Okay. I might go PSA, but you're Jack and you know how to throw it, so I'm gonna go with Beckett for it. All right.
Go a little further.
There you go.
Best, or just the stadium you walked in this year, like in the big leagues, you're like, holy crap, like I'm at so-and-so.
Wrigley.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like the historic vibe of it. I was hurt for Fenway, but I feel like deep down it will be Fenway. Didn't go to like Yankee Stadium or anything. But I really like Wrigley. Twisted the ivy and everything.
Yeah. Really cool.
Wrigley, I mean, I'm a Cardinals fan, so I don't know what to say about that. I got no more questions after that. You got any more?
No, I think we're good.
Jack passed, man. He killed it.
He's crushed it. So that was our Titan MRI rapid fire questions, and we rapidly got through all these packs, and it seemed like I think that probably went a long time, but we were having fun. This is what it's all about. We wish you all the best. There's certainly so many people around here and Gator fans, and people that are around know how special you were and loved watching you, and we're all rooting from afar. And now they get to try to get your packs. I know the kids are going into the shop trying to get the Jac Caglianone
all the time.
And all those
all the
things.
time.
So,
my little kids scream, "I got Jack!" They run around the shop. It's awesome.
It is good stuff. Well, Jack, thanks for stopping by. Wish you all the best, man, and keep doing your thing. It'll definitely keep getting better. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll tell you about some of the new acts that is coming up when we come back on the Meelypod Hobby Podcast.
Things have certainly got a little out of hand lately when it comes to just buying our everyday necessities. Just look at gas, streaming services, and heck, even chicken wings. Well, there is one necessity that shouldn't cost a ton: taking care of yourself and helping fix all the aches and pains in life. And the fine folks at Titan MRI agree. With costs a fraction of what you'd pay at a hospital, you'll not only save money, you'll be taken care of by staff with over 20 years experience. So when you need an MRI, call Titan first, and you can go where your doctors send their families. Now offering CAT scans. All right, well, we are still smiling because that was a lot of fun to have Jac Caglianone in here. And even though we didn't get that ginormous hit, I still think some pretty good ones throughout.
Yeah, I think we had some good cards. I mean, it's fun to pull Gator. It's fun to pull all your friends that he knows. I think his collection too. We didn't even get to show that, but he brought his little Zion case and had some bangers of cards. He talked about the Lucas and stuff.
Yeah.
We'll put on screen. But man, what a just like a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But a guy who loves the hobby. And hearing him talk about him going into chat rooms or breaks, just being himself, like that's something that I think is pretty rare.
Sure.
And I wish more athletes would kind of follow suit in that. they want to break the walls down too. They don't like that difference, between thinking you're higher or lower or whatever. And so it's so cool to hear him trading with people and asking questions and finding people who want to trade with him.
And that's what has changed from, when I was collecting as a kid, like you never really had those opportunities because there were those walls. And it's like, no, there's no way you can talk to a big leaguer or do some of these other things. But now they're interacting, and just to have a kid basically be able to reach out to you and say, hey, I got your card. Like, will you sign a ball for me for it or something like that? And the kid willing to do it. It's a really cool world.
Yeah, I mean, it's broken. Social media, obviously, we know what it's done there, but I think you're seeing more now with breaks, right? Like,
sure.
So if you're breaking Bowman Draft or Bowman Chrome or whatever on opening day, and Jac Caglianone comes in the chat to break, like, think how special that is for people. They're going to remember that moment. Everyone's going to be typing to try and get an answer from him because they want his attention. And I think that's where we're at now, where the hobby has kind of blurred those lines. There's no more, dark dividing line. They blurred the lines for us. Fanatics Fest, this event where people go to and they see these guys walking around buying cards. So I know a little bit of that stage, but I think you see from Jac, it's authentic.
Yep, no doubt. Well, there was a couple of bangers in there, not the best of the best, but he pulled a few things that I think should probably get graded. And if you ever need anything graded, CGC, one of the nation's leading grading companies. Submit your collectibles, your sports cards, your trading cards, your comics, your coins, your video games, all that jazz. CGCcards.com is the way to do it, and we appreciate them being a part of this thing. And I know they're probably busy, as you talked about the holidays too, and getting things sent in, and maybe even probably more so afterwards as everybody gets their cards for Christmas, and then it's like, all right, sweet, January, February, we're going to submit all these things and see what we got.
People forget this too. Like they get their cards around the holidays, they open them, oh, I'm gonna grade it, and then they start thinking like, oh, I'm gonna get it back in the time frame that it says. Look, the people at CGC, they're going to go on break in holidays. PSA, SGC, BGS, they all go on holidays, guys. So the time frame for your returns for grading take a little longer. Shout out to Justice at our shop. He gets those calls. I don't have to field those calls where's my cards? He's like, guys, they're celebrating Christmas. They're not grading your cards right now. So it's one of these things that, we're going to have to get better at in the hobby with patience. I know we all want our cards back, but CGC does a great job, and their slabs really cool. I mean, last episode, if you don't remember, Andy shared with us they got some new slabs coming out for thicker cards and tall boy cards, so they're innovating for sure.
All right, speaking of cards, new wax coming out this week.
There's a set that's literally after you. Bruce Wayne is coming out. You are the Dark Knight, Jeff. Nice. You are Mr. Batman. Batman Metal comes out this week, which I'm really excited for. It's an Upper Deck product for the non-sports folks. It's going to be, they're going to have Joker and Harley Quinn and Riddler, precious metal gems, and it's just going to be a fun set for Batman, which we haven't really had a Batman, I'll call it a DC set that's been good for a long time. So this will be fun, I think, for a lot of people this week that indulges in that. On the football side, there's a lot of football. We got Panini Certified Football, which is always a fan favorite. I love Panini Certified because it's always a good price point. I think they're like $250, $275 a box. You can chase the rookies. You get lots of packs. You get lots of numbered. You get autographs. You get patches. It's a good present box, I think, for those looking for presents. And then 25 Mosaic Football comes out as well this week, which people love Mosaic for the stained glass cards and the rookies and all the different color you get. So as you heard from Jack, he was talking about color in boxes. Mosaic is one of those boxes that has a lot of that. We have Noir Soccer coming out. I think Messi's in that, as well as some other big names. Noir Soccer going to be a big hit. Combat Anthology, that's a Panini set for the Fighting PFL, I think. And then from the top side, Topps Basketball has their mega boxes coming out, and they have the mega boxes for Bowman Chrome University, which came out last week, which we didn't have an episode, but Bowman Chrome University is here. So football in that set for the Gators. You got ball autographs, Ada Mizell autographs, so kind of fun to chase some of these guys that are local, but also Pavia's first autograph, right? You got Levitt. You got just a ton of names in there that I think people are really going after, and the playoffs coming up. So Bowman Chrome University, another great $135, $150 a hobby box. I think it's you get 2 autos, great buy. And then last but not least, Topps Finest UFC. So that is Friday this week as well. So a lot of releases. We're in that time with November and December. We're going to see a lot, guys. It's not going to stop. But there are some really good products that are coming out.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, this was really good today. Well, even great. Really fun podcast. Appreciate it. And if you enjoyed it, we'll try to bring you this content each and every week. We'll have more professional athletes, college athletes, Olympians, and certainly all the best of the best in the hobby that Jameel knows everybody. So,
no, it's all you, Jeff.
But appreciate everybody for tuning in again today. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll talk to you again soon. For Jameel, I'm Jeff. That was the Meelypod Hobby Podcast.
Thank you for joining us. We will see you next Thursday at noon.